Okay.
Okay.
Hi, guys. Guess who I've got with me today? I've got Victoria Taylor and I've got Kelvin Heard all the way from the UK. A little bit different today. What's up, guys? Kelvin?
Well, I've known you for a while, Jill, and I've known Victoria for about 6 or 7 years. And Victoria's come up with an amazing idea called the Reset. So I'm going to hand over it to Victoria because it's her idea.
Her baby. So, Victoria, first tell us something about yourself because we don't have a clue. My audience just sees this gorgeous girl with a big smile and we don't know who you are.
Well, that's a very great question. So, there's lots about me, and not many people will know me because I'm quite known for building businesses behind the scenes. But my history is I left home at 16 and I followed a dream to be a professional show jumper. And then later on in life, I had a second dream to be a property developer. And I worked my way up from being an estate agent to building about 450 flats throughout London. Yep. And then 2 years ago, I had a big reset myself. And it made me really step back and look at my whole life and go, what is life about? Because when you've been such a goal driven high achiever, you're constantly looking at doing and moving. And then actually, I really step back and go, am I living the way I want to live? And across all aspects of life. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs and high achievers out there actually sometimes hit this point in life when you're just constantly moving forward. And I actually had a big reset and was like, right, how's everything like the relationships I'm in, the businesses I'm building, the people I'm surrounded by, where's my time going, and actually really took a massive step back. And then people looked at me because I was forced to go into this reset because of the economy and the business, etc. And then that's what made me really step back and look at where life was going. And then people started to see me really evolve in different ways. And everyone was like, how did you do it? How did you get through it? And then people started asking me, and then I started giving them guidance, etc. And then I thought, you know what, this reset is going to help everyone.
Mm.
So that's where it all came about.
So some people call that a pivoting.
Yes.
Do they?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that sort of, but to me, the reset's more than just a pivot.
Yeah, I think it's all about, there's so much to it.
Mm.
And it makes you really step back and look at all aspects of your life, whether that's your relationships, your time, your finances, your goals, which is really your vision. But there's not a lot of people that tell you how to get to your goals. And there's a method in there called the reverse engineering.
Mm.
And that gives you the steps on how to map it out, as well as going through resilience, fear, reflection, patterns. There's so much to it. And there's lots of companies out there that will talk about set things, whether it's finances, whether relationships, but actually everything influences one another.
And you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I created within the reset, it's like a guidebook, and it's reflective questions that makes you step back and look at yourself and what you want. There's lots of information out there, and we've got ChatGPT writing your sentences. We've got algorithms dictating what you see. We've got lots of podcasts out there that can be controversial with mixed opinions, etc. So it's actually, this is actually making you step back and going, well, what do I want and how am I living and how am I operating? And it gives you that guidance to lead you the way. There's no manual to life out there. And that's what I feel this is about. And it's got audios in there, which are short audios on each chapter, which is like having a friend beside you talking to you and getting you to come to your own way of thinking. And then Kelvin came on board because we met several years ago, and there's a funny story with that. And I was like, you've got to get involved in this. And he's helped me so much in my life. And I'll tell you the story. Basically, in 2019, a friend of mine said, oh, have you ever heard about seeing a healer? And I was like, what's a healer? I don't know what it's like. And it was like about visualization and getting into stillness, etc. So I heard wonderful things about Kelvin, and he had a long waiting list, and I thought, oh, I haven't got time for that. So I knocked on his door and turned up and said, can you heal me? He just thought I was absolutely crackers.
Hence, what's wrong with you?
He said, okay. I said, look, I know you've got a waiting list. I said, but I'm just so intrigued to actually just hear what you do. And can you tell me a bit more? And he said, I tell you what, like, I've just had a cancellation. I've got a spare hour if you're free. And I was like, okay, go for it. I said, I'm someone that can't sit still for 5 minutes, not alone an hour. So let's see where this goes. And Kelvin put me, he sat at my feet and he put me in a meditation visualization, but of me talking.
Yeah.
And no joke, half an hour through the session, I sat bolt upright and said, that's how I've been operating. So he tapped into my subconscious. And so my thing is, you already know the answers. We're just not getting quiet enough in order to hear them.
Hear them. Mm.
We're our own guidance throughout life. And we feel it in our bodies, and it's just whether we listen to it or not, and whether we have that courage to act on it, etc. So anyway, so we did 3 sessions and they were wonderful, and then COVID hit, and then that was it. We didn't speak after that, but he already healed me, could I say. But when in 2024, and I had so much stress with the economy changing in London and the property market, and I was going through a very challenging time through with the business. And everyone was coming at me with opinions and things like that, but no one was holding the responsibility. And I thought, who can help me through this? And I called Kelvin immediately. I was like, Kelvin, you've got to come to my house. You've got to get me in stillness. And so the answers can come to me, so I can lead the way and be a leader in my field. When you haven't come across those, when you haven't been in those situations before, you've got to dig deep and you've got to lead the way, basically. And I thought the only person that could do that is Kelvin getting me into the meditation so the answers can come.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And he helped me for a very challenging period. And then I called him up and said, I've had this great idea and you've got to be part of it. And that's what the reset is about.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And
I mean, sorry.
Thank God for the bad economy.
Yeah. There's a silver lining with everything, right?
Unfortunately, fortunately.
Yeah. It was
Absolutely.
pretty brutal, but yeah. Go on, Kelvin.
No, well, I was going to say, and then from there, we began to really think about, how the reset, would come about, how it was given birth to, really. And that's when Victoria came up with the idea of meditations and breath work for everyday support, really, in everyone's life. So they can always come back to self, even in the most challenging of situations. If you're at work, you're having a very, very difficult time, you've got the Reset as an app. You can just, go into it straight away, deal with that situation, reset yourself, go back into the meeting, go back, into your office and deal with what you've got to deal with. From my perspective, I mean, I've been now a therapist for 30 odd years, and people are just consistently or diverted. They're never in themselves. So to really come back to reset, to be in your true power, your true identity as a human being, is absolutely phenomenal. It's so amazing and powerful. This is really, what Victoria and I have created, a power base for an individual to be themselves, to explore themselves, and to be the best version of self they can possibly be every single day.
To stop leaking power.
Correct.
To stop leaking energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
But unless they go to a point of stillness, they're never going to be able to hear what it is they want to hear.
Yeah.
They can't hear themselves, can they?
It's
So, which do you think is the best way for somebody to hear themselves?
I think it can be done through many things, and it can be done through stillness, but
Yeah.
it also can be done just from moving, etc. So when I went through that big reset and I wasn't sleeping, it was tough. And I remember thinking, God, I just want to literally hide under the covers and not deal with this. It's too much. It's like I've dealt with high pressures before, but this is just coming at me tenfold. And I was in an area where I've not been things I haven't dealt with before, like in my work business. So I had to learn things on the spot. So I remember thinking, I used to get up because you're sitting there with anxiety on your chest, and I think, what do you do in that situation? And you can sit there and overthink, and it gets worse. But what I did is every morning at 6 o'clock, I would force myself and get out of bed and just walk around the park and get in nature and just go for a walk. No headphones, not on the phone, no phone calls, just hear the birds. And I felt very isolated, very lonely at the time. And actually, when I was just walking out in nature, and I'd make a cup of tea and just go for this walk. And actually, I'd see people, I'd see the sun coming up, I'd see birds, I'd hear the birds, but I also see people running or walking out of that time. And all of a sudden, the anxiety went, and I didn't feel lonely. I didn't feel like the whole weight was on my shoulders. And then the clarity started to come. And look, we can overthink, and you have to allow those thoughts to come and go. And what is true here? What can I control? And that can happen from movement. But it's also, I call them, they're in the reset called the daily anchors, but there's little things like going to bed at set times and waking up at set times really help. But also reading 15 minutes before bed really helps. Like, get off your phone screen or TV screen. And it's just those little quietness that just help you settle. Also, eating 3 nutritious meals a day and having that structure in your day gave me so much stability, because I think when you're going through those things, you're running on adrenaline, and you're like, oh, I need sugar, or because it's quick, and you start, like, when you get very structured in your regime, it helps you keep stable. So there's many things that can create that clarity and that stillness, and that could even be just cleaning the house or washing up or something, because it could just take your mind away from the everyday weight that's on your shoulders. And then you can start asking yourself. And the reason why I created the reset with the guidebook, it's not there to sit and do a course or anything like that. It's to come back to at different sections whenever you want. And you can read it and think about it, or you could journal it, or you can just, a question might play on your mind days later, and it just gives you that slight bit of guidance. And the reason why this is not a subscription, it's a one-off purchase, is because I wanted someone to have like a toolkit that they can always come back to.
Yeah.
And there's the reset wheel in there, which it can really, well, the first time I did it, it shocked me, because I was a 10 in certain aspects, but a 2 in others. And
Yes.
I remember, and I remember thinking, I've achieved so high, so you think you're successful, yeah? But then you realize achievement doesn't create fulfillment or peace.
100%.
Yeah.
Otherwise, super, super successful people, right,
Yeah.
are not going to be falling over and getting divorced and all the things, everything turning to custard. I was #1 for Sotheby's New Zealand,
Yeah.
and I would be going for 3 months without a day off.
Yeah.
Go, 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 go. Missing birthdays, missing dinners out, missing family celebrations. And
Yeah.
everybody was thinking, oh my gosh, you're having such a fabulous time. But it was like I had pennies in my pocket, but my soul was starving.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it's like, it's time to take stock.
Yeah.
of what's
Yeah.
important and who you're living for
Yeah. And
and
that's what
why you're
happened to me.
living. Hey,
Yeah.
and that's what you came to your crunch
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. And everything influences one another. And you can
Yeah.
think that you've got the greatest health or the best relationship or the best friendship. But when things really happen to you, they don't happen to you, they happen for you actually. But when I say you realize who those people are around you, the ones that step up or the ones that disappear, or the ones that play the blame game or whatever, or make excuses. And then you really start going, right, who do I need in my corner? And it's
And
not about,
sorry to interrupt you. That's what I loved when you spoke about the cuts and everything and the people you surround yourself with. I
yeah,
love that.
Yeah.
So
mm,
talk. It's almost like who do you have to disinvite that you've invited into your life because
yeah,
because you didn't take stock, right? You were just people pleasing, and before you know it, you're crowded and you're like you can't breathe
yeah.
because you didn't decide and put your boundaries in, and then all the rabbits came in and ate all your vegetables because you didn't put the fence up.
And everything comes down to standards. And I remember a friend said to me once, raise your standards. And I went, what do you mean? I've got really high standards. I'm like really like cutthroat on things. And they were like, well, you wouldn't accept this, would you? So like, why are you accepting it? And I was like, oh yeah, you've got a point.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's also how you show up. And I think people think like people pleasing and saying yes, etc., creates comfort. It doesn't. When you say no to someone, you soon see someone's character. Sit back and observe with everything in life now. That's my biggest motto. Just sit back, watch.
it's the
You know
greatest
how,
Yeah.
show on earth,
yeah.
isn't it? When you're self-aware, it's like bring on the popcorn. I'm watching the show. And then you are the biggest show yourself, hey? You're like
Yeah,
what observing yourself going, what the hell?
I know. You
What
start
did you do
laughing,
that
don't
for?
you? And oh, then you go, oh, seen this one again. Yeah, see that.
Yeah,
What?
that was the old pattern. What the?
Yeah. Are we going to go back into this cycle or are we going to change it? We already know the outcome, but are we going to? And that's why my whole marketing is you already know, because we do already know it's whoever we're listening.
Yes.
And I think just to go on from Victoria to add to my journey, because I had a massive reset in the 90s, and I was doing law in Chancery Lane in London, conveyancing, and I became very ill. And bizarrely, I knew I was becoming ill, but of course, I was drinking too much, smoking too much, wasn't getting enough sleep. And then I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue in 1991, which went on to around 1996. And I was looking for an answer. And the answer came from more complementary therapies, energy work, healing, blah, blah, blah. And to cut a very long story short, it was one day when I was in a session and Valerie Felgate, lovely soul, said to me, what do you do with the rest of your life? I said, I'm going to go back and do law. And she went, no, you shouldn't. You should become a therapist, a healer. And the moment she said that, it was like all the lights went on.
Mm.
It was the most extraordinary moment. I didn't realize at the time it was going to roll out over 30 years. And the journey, the extraordinary journey it's taken to this point now. Um, but the point I'm getting around to is we have to listen. I'm just adding to what Victoria said. We have to listen to the voice inside. And, we may be a bit frightened of that voice, but if it keeps coming, it's time to listen. And the more we listen, we change our life to the most extraordinary, extraordinary way.
Oh,
And that's what
100%.
we all need to do.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with being silent. There's nothing wrong with knowing. There's nothing wrong with changing direction. There's nothing wrong with resetting. It is the most wonderful and powerful thing
it
that we
is.
can do. Yeah, we have one life. We have one chance.
So what needs to change in order for change to happen? Well, you look at the reset and answer some questions.
Indeed.
It helps you so much. It makes you really step back
Yeah.
and go,
And it's fun.
yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
And like you've got lots of things in there, whether it's even a finance tracker that can make you strip back your finances and go, oh, am I just spending or I'm actually building wealth here? And go, and it's giving you options, ideas on how to build wealth as well. There's just lots of little tools in there that you can use, and it could just help you. That's all it is. It's not someone telling you what to do. It's like having a friend beside you that is, you can also do it in your own time. Like you can go to coaches or anything like that, but sometimes you don't actually want to talk to people and tell your inner secrets or how you're feeling or anything. And actually you can just do it in your own time and just think for yourself, really. And that's what it's all about: return to your own thinking. But we
It's a
all know
GPS.
deep down, and touched upon what Kelvin said, like the lights went off. We feel that spark. And when we feel that spark, it's limitless. But change can be scary. And a lot of things in life is held by fear. And I don't think anyone in this world doesn't not have fear. And but you've got to say, does it control you, or do you want to lean into it and take a calculated view of actually stepping back and go, well, why am I fearful of it, and break it down? And that's what the reset is about in every category of your life, is breaking everything down and getting to the core root. And that, when you feel it in life, and it's your purpose. Like people said to me, go back to property, go back to building those blocks of flats. I went, I've been there, done it. I don't want to do it again. I've already done that chapter. Yes, I still invest in property. Yes, I still give advice in property, etc., because I've known it for so many years. But I just feel this is my purpose, because I really want to combine my background from sport and in business to help others, and how to operate at a higher level, but not just in one aspect, across life. And I think in times we're forcing things and we feel it and we're like, oh, like, shall we do it? Shall we not do it? But when you feel aligned with yourself, you just feel free.
And that's what it is, isn't it? It's like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want? And if you don't ask the question, how are you going to know, right? And that's why the
Absolutely.
reset like digs in. I love
Yeah.
this thing. I wrote a few things down here, and I think this is very encouraging. It says, you are already standing somewhere your old self worked to reach. So don't be so hard on yourselves, guys.
Exactly.
You're already
Yeah.
somewhere. And your somewhere is going to be completely different to somebody else's somewhere. There's not a competition,
Yeah.
right? It's not a competition.
And
So
you've already got there, and there's nothing wrong with you at all. Like, this is nothing about being wrong. This is just basically stepping back and asking yourself questions. You might not want to change. You might not want to improve. You might have the most fantastic life, but you might step back and go, oh, maybe that I like that brings fire to my belly, so I want to do more of that. Do you know what I mean? And yeah.
who would you say, Kelvin, that this reset program come app come information guide is for?
Everyone. It's a really simple answer. Everyone. Everyone, like Victoria says, everyone has an element of fear. Everyone has maybe an element of anger, stress, anxiety. Yeah, it's different levels, but it's always in different situations. But anybody can use this. Anyone over 18 years old. And yeah, as I said, women, men, office, at home, it's there.
It will be
And
brilliant
it's,
as a
sorry, go
work
on.
tool. Sorry, I always interrupt. Sorry. But I'm getting so old that I forget what I'm going to say if I don't interrupt. That's my excuse. But I'm just thinking in a corporate environment, imagine if they took the time instead of having all those meetings, like we always do for real estate, once a week meetings, etc. Imagine if you did something really progressive and it's like a
Yeah,
GPS for your life,
Mm.
and then you start doing the questions and they can answer it themselves. They can share if they want to share, but at least it's changing the mindset. It's getting the wheels spinning a little bit. And
Yeah.
that is actually what is bringing in um, a proper environment of a group, of what a
Yeah.
group or a team is supposed to be. Instead of working against each other, they're working for themselves with each other. And as they embrace themselves and make themselves better, everybody wins.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to show you something, Jill. One sec.
Yeah,
Here.
For me, it's like sending the ripples, through the lake, and all the fish are hearing it in the water. It becomes a collective.
I love it. I just love
Yeah,
it.
So I've been going out and speaking to companies as well, and you can use these cards in companies. They're not available on purchase yet, but they're questions that are within the reset. So you basically pick a card,
Yeah.
and so for example, I was with someone yesterday, a very high achiever, and he said to me, "I don't believe in this." He said, but I said, "Let's see."
Humor
Um,
me, humor me.
yeah. And I said to him, I showed it. He was very impressed with it. He said, I absolutely love it. He said, I think it's so needed in the world. But I said, do me a favor. And I just went like this, pick a card. And he came out with the question was, what am I building and why?
Yeah.
And high achiever. And I said, answer it. Why are you doing this? Why are you building what you're building and why? Why are you doing it? And I think the biggest question in everything you should ask yourself, why are you doing it? Like, why is your time going there? Why are you in this relationship? Why are you spending all this money on this? Like, everything's a why. And it's in the reset of life is a roller coaster, it's up and down. But when you know what your why is, that's your anchor.
Correct.
Because when you know why you're doing it, you can go through those storms and it can
Yeah, those
keep you.
dark days, those heavy days when you don't feel like it.
Yeah, and you can keep you can keep pushing on something and it's not coming to any fruition. But then you go, why am I doing it? And then all of a sudden you go, oh yeah, it's fine. And like when I was riding horses, I'll give you that example. I was getting thrown off. I was earning £40 a week and I was mucking out stables 12 hours a day to ride 10 horses a day, getting thrown off, getting back up. I'm bruised, I'm hurt, it's freezing cold. But why am I doing it? Because I want to be a professional show jumper. I love what I do. And yes, you go again and you get through it. And when you go and win a competition, you're like, well, that's why I've done it. And that's what I'm saying. When you know that why, it's sentimented in you. So then, yeah, and then it turns over and it says, you are doing a lot. Time passes. You keep moving. Where is this leading you? Is it where you want to go? Why are you doing it? Set the direction, take the step. And all of a sudden, he was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Completely
I said,
different to what he thought. Yeah.
and I said, that's going to play on your mind throughout the today, tomorrow of why I'm doing this. And
Yeah.
it might not even come to you today. It might come to you in a month's time and go, why am I building this? Why am I doing this? And this isn't to make change. It's just to make self-awareness of why we're doing things. And there could be loads of different things. Like there's questions in here. Where do I operate at my best? What pattern keeps repeating? And imagine a company having this in a meeting, and it doesn't have to be talking about the individual. It could be, say for example, like for example, it says, "Where did I not meet my standard?" So it's like you could go in the team. where are we not meeting our standards today? Are we getting in at the same time every day? Are we on the phones at this time? Do you know what I mean? And that's how you can bring it into the workforce. Another one is, what conversation am I avoiding? But that could be, well, guys, what conversation are we avoiding here? What do we need to do in order to move this forward? And it's really all about taking a step back in order to go forward with clarity and purpose.
And having a reset.
Yeah. And look, there's like little orange cards here, which I get them to pick. And yesterday, he picked hold the line. And on the back, it says, when it gets uncomfortable, stay with it. Because we're so quick to fight or flight, but actually feel it. Yes, it's hard, but actually, let's feel it. What's coming up? And then go, how can I handle this? Or you don't have to handle it. It's just like, what's going on here? And what's true here and what's not? And then you take control, and then you move forward and you take the step forward. Like, another one came up with a guy the other day, and it says, not everything needs a yes. And he was like, how did I pick that card? I said, well, they're not tarot cards. I said, but you generally just picked it. and he said, but I say yes to everything. I said, well, that's what you need to change. Stop saying yes. Anyway, I've seen him 2 weeks later. I saw him yesterday, and that different person. And he went, I said, that reset's completely changed the way I am. I'm like, no, it's wasting my time. And he said, everything's coming to me, like all goodness. And I went, but that's because you're aligned with you.
Yeah. So
It's very
it's like getting a warrant of fitness, isn't it? We call it a WAF here. You've
Oh,
got to
yeah.
get your car a WAF, and you've got to get the wheels aligned if they are not running smoothly on the road.
Yeah.
So if you're not running smoothly through life, then you're not aligned. It's going to be a bumpy trip, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's
Yeah.
just like so
true.
basic. And I love
So
this.
true.
Yeah. Between goals, there is life.
Yeah.
Don't miss it. And that's what's happening with so many high flyers. It's profit over people, and it's profit, 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 and more profit, and everybody's burning out. And then when are they going to do life?
Yeah.
That's, to me, that's a biggie. And when they start realizing that, and it's like their why, back to their why. And you said also direction comes first. And I was wanting to really speak to both of you about this. I said, do you think you have to have your why first in order to know which direction to take?
Not necessarily. I think you have to have a vision and of what you want, and then you ask yourself why. Why do you want that vision? I'll give an example that my father taught me very young, and I remember coming home and at 21, and he goes, "Tori, you're obsessed with making money. You're like obsessed with it. Like, you want to make this money." I was like, yeah, I want to achieve. I want to like build an empire. And he's like, well, what do you want in this empire? And I said, I want a portfolio of properties. I want to live here. I want horses, and I want this. I want that. I want that. And he went, okay, great. You've got a vision. Fantastic. Now let's break it back, and which is part of the reverse engineering, and map it out of how you get that. But he said, I'm going to ask you a question. Why do you want that? That's all materialistic things. How do you want to feel? Who do you want around you? How do you want to show up every day? And that is when it goes back to your why. So you can have a direction and a vision, but then go back to your why first, and that vision might change.
I see it as like all of us, first we learn, right?
Yeah.
Then we earn.
Yeah.
And then we return. The return that we invest in everyone is what we've learned. That's when we share.
Yeah.
You earn, you learn, and you return, right? So
Yeah.
why are you deciding at this stage of your life to do this return? Invest in humanity.
That's a very good conversation. That's a very good question.
But this,
Why?
It's a great question. And one of the reasons was because so it was about a year ago, we set up a WhatsApp group, didn't we? Called, called Perfect Peace. And it
No,
was
powerfully pieced.
powerfully pieced. That was it. And there's about 4 or 5 of us on there. And we had amazing conversations. And then us two decided, oh, well, we'll go off on this journey. And it was really, it started, one, the why is we really want to help people. And we knew, or we know that at this time, people need help more than they have for a very, very, very long time. And a lot of people are suffering silence. That could be for many reasons. There's many cultural aspects to that. There's, greater things going on in the world. Um, but we just somehow knew that if we created something which people could use in their day-to-day life, this would be very helpful. Equally, it's a lovely, amazing thing for us to do to bring, you know, um, a little bit of peace maybe into someone's life, a reset, you know?
And then have you done the wheel and you've done everything yourself through the reset?
Me or,
Both of you.
I
yeah,
lived and breathed
yeah,
it.
she lived and breathed it. Yeah,
And it really helped you.
It changed me. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah. And
can tell you, yeah.
that's and people saw it first. This never came about saying I want to build a reset. I never even had this in my head.
No.
And I've looked at things all my life. I've always studied things of how to build resilience and a strong mindset because obviously the industries I've been in. But also I'm quite an emotional person and I'm really intuitive. I feel a lot of things. And lots of people used to say to me, "Oh, Victoria, you need to like control your emotions and things like that," and I just felt suppressed. And actually, it's the way you communicate, and it's. I never one day said I'm going to write the reset. I thought I was going to be building properties for the rest of my life and building a portfolio and just living the life I was. And but when I had that reset, I was on the floor in my living room writing, going, what do I want next? And it started with a circle. And I thought, who am I? Like everything I've done, everything I've been through, I could write a book for the journeys that I've been through. And it's like, it would be a great story. But then I was just like, I'm streetwise. Like I literally am. Like I've learned everything from, I left home, I left school at 16 and hustled. Like I wasn't given anything. Like to be a show jumper, I had to leave home and live on in a mobile home on a stable yard. But I did that in order to sell to
The next
be a
thing.
show jumper.
Yeah.
And then I broke my collarbone, and then I was like, well, I want to buy and sell horses, but I don't have the money to do it. And then I got myself a job as a postwoman to be to get a credit card to buy a horse. And so that's what I did. And then I got a credit card, bought a horse, and then I trained it and sold it 6 weeks later and made £6,000. I thought, wow, so I'm going to keep doing this. And then I was training people to ride at competition level, etc. But then I got to a stage in my life where I wanted more for my life. And I used to watch all the property programs and I wanted to make more money. And I was just like, the horses were great, but I just lost that spark and love for it because I'd done it so much. Mm-hmm. And that's when I went to be an estate agent and then a development agent and then a developer. And then being at a board level, building 450 flats throughout London. And then having to deal with a restructuring of the whole business and on my own, was left to deal with it all on my own. I did have some support and advisors around me, but yes, it was quite brutal. But that is life experiences. That is not textbook. And that really comes from throwing yourself in the deep end and working out life, making mistakes, but learning not to make the same mistake twice and learning through life. And that life is a journey. It's about experiences and you just got to go for it and not be fearful of it because you have choices in everything. And that's when it came to me, when I was sitting on my floor writing, going, what am I good at? What do I want next? Do I want to build the same chapter? And then started mapping out life in a relationship, because at the time my long-term relationship broke down, and it was like, is this the person I want to marry and have kids with? And then it goes deeper. Where do I want to spend my time? Do I want to be in the UK, or do I want to be in other countries? And I just started mapping my whole life out. And then people started to see the change in me. I was at peace. I was like, just, I didn't care about money. I didn't care about the materialistic thing. I cared about what was good for my soul.
There you
And
go.
I was just like that. And I finally found me. And I was always living me. I never not lived me, but I started to really address myself on all aspects. And I started to feel free. And then people started to say, like, how did you get through it? Like, when everything's coming at you. And it started with those daily anchors, which I mentioned earlier. So it's those tools that you need to create stability in your life. And when you create stability, you have an anchor. So you're anchored. And then you can lift everything up and let everything then make choices on where you want in different aspects of your life. And that's how I saw the reset. And then it just came to me where I was just mapping it out on these A3 bits of paper. And this is over a year. And then I was helping friends go through certain situations. And I was like, I love helping people. I love giving. And I was just like, just want to give people the tools instead of people telling people what to do. We all think differently. We all act differently. So this could just help you, because there's nothing out there that could help me in that situation. And there were certain little tools and advice from certain people in different aspects, and Kelvin getting me in stillness. But then I was like, there's nothing out there that brings it all together. And obviously, because I have a business head, I'm looking at it as a business, not the reset as a business. I'm talking about a business mind with looking at finances, your time, your relationships, your fears, resilience, patterns. And then you start looking at the whole aspect. And I was like, I really want to help people see it for themselves.
And you know what? Beautifully said, because as you're saying that, my guides are giving me these, as they do, these images, and they always give it to me in real layman terms so that everybody can understand. And they're showing me a beautiful meal, and they're showing me all the dishes in the
Yeah.
sink, all the mess. And they said, everybody wants to eat the beautiful meal, but nobody wants to clean the dishes, wash the dishes. But you can't get a beautiful meal unless you've got a clean plate to eat off, as you're going to get germs and you're going to get sick, right? So
Yeah.
they said it's really simple. The question is, do you want it
Mm.
or don't you? There's
Yeah.
no trying. You either do it or you don't.
Yeah.
If you do want it, the reset is there to help them. And I know you've got
Exactly.
to go. I'm keeping my eye on the time.
No, no, don't worry. It's fine. I've really
Yeah, I
enjoyed
mean,
this.
I think what you said there is perfect, and that's what I love about the stillness part of this. You know, it's like you're sitting on the side of a lake that could be polluted, which is your mind. And very gently, every day through stillness, you're dropping a drop of clear water into the lake. And everything starts to come alive again. The pollution disappears. The sun begins to shine. The fish, your thoughts, they all come back to you. And life can start. It's a process, but the reset is a process that is worth doing every single day.
Well, I started it, Victoria.
How are you getting on? How did it, what
I've only
resonated
done
with
one
you?
thing. I've only done one thing because I've only been doing it for 3 days, all right?
Okay.
And that is getting up at the same time every day. So I decided to do an early start. Well, holy heck, it's the middle of winter here. And
Yeah.
taking the dog for a walk early when there's still frost on the ground and there's ice, the water's ice is not great. But I thought you can have thermals and gloves and and a hat, and who gives a continent? Who gives a shit what you look like when you're out there, right? And I'm walking the dog and home having breakfast by 7:30, 8 o'clock, done all that already. And it's like
Yeah,
suddenly I've got all these extra hours.
yeah,
And it
Yeah.
actually stimulates you. It's like now I'm cleaning out
yeah.
drawers, and whereas before it was like, oh no, I've got to do that, but and just putting it off and putting it off. So I'm going, okay, how badly do you want this? Like, you want to lose 5 kilos. Are you going to do it, or aren't you?
Yeah.
Because if you have that extra biscuit every day,
Yeah.
not going to happen. Is it a
No.
dense nutrient or what? So you just got to ask yourself, what is it that you want?
But
And
there's
you've got to
something
write it
really,
down. You have to know
yeah.
what you want, otherwise you've got no direction, right?
Yeah.
There's so true, and there's something very simple that us three are doing here today. We're laughing.
I do a lot of that.
Yeah, exactly. And
On your
Victoria and
will,
I
must
do
be
a
a
lot of
10,
that.
Jill.
Well, my fun fact will be doing, my
And,
diet will be like a little bit on the other side
and
until it isn't. Sorry, Kev. Yeah.
no, I was just saying, and Victoria and I do an awful lot of that, and we have done ever since we met in 2019. And I remember saying at the end of the session when she came to see me, and I said, you will be speaking, you will be doing public speaking. Never saw her again after that. No, I'm only joking. And but you didn't want to hear at that time, did you? Not then.
No, I didn't even know where I was going. But one
Yeah.
thing I
Yeah,
just want to touch on what you just said, Jill, there's actually a couple of things. So, where you just said you made a decision to get up earlier at the set time every day and go out walking. And that changed my life. And it really does help when you go out walking and 6 o'clock in the morning. And yeah,
yeah,
it's lovely. But one thing I would say is a lot of people will tell you about confidence and how to build confidence and trust, etc. But that starts with you. So if you say you're going to do something and then you put it off and you make an excuse, I'll do that in 5 minutes, or
Yeah.
I'll do that tomorrow. All of a sudden, what you don't realize is you're breaking a promise with yourself.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
So you're breaking trust with yourself.
yep,
Absolutely.
So how can you build confidence within if you can't keep promises to yourself? And
It
then
goes
how
deeper
do you
than
get
that.
other
I think it goes
people
deeper.
trust you and then build confidence? And when you do keep those things, you carry yourself in such a different way.
yeah.
And then people they're attracted to you and they feel safe with you because you're safe within.
But Victoria, don't you think the biggest thing is self-worth? If you don't think that you are worthy of getting up at a time and
Yeah.
investing in yourself, it's not going to happen until you get that spark and that light bulb and realize. And I know people are going to go, oh my God, Jill, filter, filter, filter. But you're here right now.
Yeah,
People that are listening to this are here right now.
yeah,
They've already won. They won the sperm race,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So they're worthy
yeah,
because they were all the others that wanted to, but they're here. So they can either play victim and poor me and pity party, but nothing ever is going to change. So if they want to change, there we go. There's the beautiful gift that they can take or not take. And they might not take it today.
Mm-hmm.
They might go, oh, I'm okay, I'm okay. But in 3 weeks' time, in 3 months' time, they might go, you know what, I think I'm ready now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everybody's ready at a different time.
absolutely.
But also, you might not understand it. Like, going back to the advice that my dad gave me at the time, I never understood it. Like other advice that he's given me, I never understood it at the time, and until years later. And then it was like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it can just be a timing thing. You might not just understand it today, but then something in life might happen, and you go, oh, I remember that. I remember that
And
bit
it
of advice.
drops in when it always drops in when it's aligned, eh?
Yeah.
And then
And also the most wonderful thing is we become the most extraordinary mirrors to others when we invest in ourselves. And as you say, when we connect with our own truth and we just get on with life and we do it in the best way we can.
but damn it, why didn't we know this 20 years ago? It would have been
I
so
know.
much more useful.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've got to have you guys back. This is fantastic. Where can they get hold of you?
They can go to the website, and it's www.onlystreetwise.com. And to go to the reset, it's / the dash reset. So we'll put it in the link below.
Yep. So if you just give it to me and I'll pop it in
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah.
And Kelv, if they want to come for you to have a reset with you with their health,
You can. That's a very good question these days, actually, because we're thinking of bringing this in, aren't we, later
Yeah.
on?
Yeah.
So it's something that we're looking at, and people will be able to have sessions with me in the future. But it's we're going to be adding that as time goes by.
okay.
I think the key is start with the meditations and breath work, and then we will be
Yeah,
adding that in. But I just wanted to
yeah,
say one thing on the meditations and breath work, which is so different to a lot of the meditations and breath work out there, is that you've got ones for vision, ones for fear, ones for reset, ones for your standards. And so they're just very different to what's actually out there, and they take you on a journey, which I'm sure you've listened to them, Jill. Or
Yeah, I have. And they're short enough that you can always fit them in. There's no excuse.
yeah. They're only 4 or 5 minutes long.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
like, choop. Yeah. And
and
I,
the videos are spectacular that they're set to. They really are. They really align consistently, through each meditation and breath work.
well, I just think both of you are just as cute as a button. And I just wish we could chat more and talk about 10 million things. So maybe we'll have to do this again. But
yeah,
thank you so much. I had fun. I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah,
I
no, thank you,
absolutely
Jill.
loved it.
Thank you,
Thank you
Jill.
so much. You've got the best energy, Jill. I could
Yeah,
literally
no,
be
you really are.
in a
Thank you
bottle.
very much, Jill.
So
Thanks for
have
your
a,
time. Thank you for doing this.
it's a pleasure and have a happy new day.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. You
Lots
take
of
great
Thank
love.
you ever
care.
so much, Jill. Thank you.
See
Thanks,
you.
Jill.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye
bye,
bye.
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 How do I come off?
I think I did that. Stop that recording. Is it all gone? Yeah.